What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. As you can see from the image behind me and my t-shirt, today I'm talking about the 4K Jurassic Park Trilogy. Just got this in the post the other day, and today I literally went through each movie in the trilogy to see how it stands up in 4K. I will say this just to kick it off: do I recommend this set? Yeah, it's a good set. It's not groundbreaking, but it is a fairly decent set for what you get, and the transfers are pretty decent for what they are. Anyway, I'm going to go through each movie and tell you what I think about the transfer and other such stuff. I watched Jurassic Park first, of course, where it began. As a film, it's a masterpiece in my opinion. I absolutely adore this movie. I don't know to the lengths of what this restoration was. I know there's two different restorations on Blu-ray. There's a 2011 restoration, and I think there's a 2014 or 15 restoration for Jurassic Park on Blu-ray. I've got the Jurassic Park Trilogy on Blu-ray, the Ultimate Trilogy from 2011. So I don't know what restoration the 4K has been mastered from. But I'm assuming it could be the latter restoration, which I heard wasn't as good as the 2011 Blu-ray restoration. But you can correct me in the comments. My knowledge is not the best on these restorations. As a film from 1993 that I feel is held up all the way through the almost 30 years that we've had this movie, the 4K transfer is really good. It's not groundbreaking. I think it's very good. What the HDR works when there's a lot of colour on screen. The red and greys of the Jeeps really pop. The greenery really pops out. The blacks are very black. Like, for example, when the T-Rex breakout scene happens, it is very dark. You still can see what's going on, of course, but the black is as black as you can get it. And I think it works for the atmosphere in 4K. The big bugbear for me with this would be the CGI models. I was worried that 4K was going to instantly age this film, but I generally thought that for the most part it did all right. The only bit that I felt was kind of showed its age a bit was the Brachiosaurus beginning bit, and the bit where it opens up and you see the herd of Brachiosaur in the river and stuff like that. That sequence when Alan Grant looks up and he sees the herd, that scene didn't even look like it was restored at all. Very muddy and didn't look very good. But I will say this, the T-Rex CG model in this film in 4K, it blew my mind. It still looks believable. It still looks fantastic as a CGI model, and I really think the 4K really brings out the details of the T-Rex model in the CG model, that is. Obviously all the practical on-camera stuff looks great in 4K, but like I said, this is not the best 4K I've seen, but it's probably the best this film has ever looked in its almost 30 years of being in existence. It looks good. I had a really good time watching this film in 4K. Sure, I can imagine if I got a better player, it probably would look even better. If I watch it through an Xbox One, through my 4K television, I'm sure if I got better gear, my TV's 6 years old, my Xbox One is Xbox One, it is what it is. I'm sure if I got a much better player, and a much more modern 4K television, I probably would get a lot more out of these 4K discs. But for my money, this was a worthwhile pickup. And if you just want Jurassic Park on 4K, I'd say it's definitely worth a pickup. The HDR really makes all the colourful scenes pop. The T-Rex model looks fantastic to this day. I'm surprised. It's still one of the best CG models of anything I've ever seen in a movie. It still looks fantastic. The Brachiosaurus scene at the beginning is starting to show its age, and there are some shots in this film that don't really look like they've been restored whatsoever. Like I said, the scene where Alan Grant looks up to the herd after the Brachiosaurus scene looks very muddy in comparison to the rest of the scene. But overall, it's a really decent 4K transfer, and I think it's worth a buy. And we move on to The Lost World Jurassic Park, a sequel not many people like, but I still think it's the best sequel in the Jurassic Park franchise. Again, this has a very, very good use of HDR, very good use of colour, and a lot of the colour elements do pop with this 4K. Like I said, this whole set, you're going to hear me, it's not the best 4K, because it isn't. Now, I've got stuff on my shelf that I think are better transfers, of course. Joker being one amazing one, and Godzilla vs. Kong being probably the new standard, in my opinion. The Lost World, I think it's a better transfer than Jurassic Park, solely on the basis that I do believe that where this is 4 years after Jurassic Park came out, I got a feeling the people making the dinosaur CG models learned how to do color correction a bit better and lighting a bit better, because the 4K restoration of this film with the CG model, especially the Stegosaurus sequence at the beginning of the movie, they look great. It looks really good. They are really crisp and really sharp. The colours pop. Again, it's another really good restoration, in my opinion. Really good 4K transfer, I think. It's all opinion, I suppose. It's all what your eyes can really see, and I thought this was a really good transfer. The T-Rex model, again, looked great. I was really worried that the T-Rex at the end, the San Diego scene at the end, I was really worried that the T-Rex would look out of place in 4K, but again, it's one of those timeless CG models that looks great, and obviously with the 4K restoration, it looks even crisper, and details are all in there. I really like it. It's not the best transfers, like I said, but I think it's a step above Jurassic Park in terms of clarity. The CG models being a lot more crisper, and actually they blend better in the scenes in particular. So yeah, Lost World is a really good transfer. Finally, we have Jurassic Park 3, and funnily enough, this is not my favourite Jurassic Park film. It's probably my least favourite Jurassic Park movie, but it's probably the best transfer in this trilogy set. Everything looks really good, really crisp. There's a lot of like bright colours in this movie, so the HDR really goes all out with the bright colours. I really thought it was great. The Spinosaurus, the good thing, the Spinosaurus is mostly practical for a lot of the shots, so the Spinosaurus looks great, and he still looks good, and it's CG moments. The T-Rex fight looks great in 4K. They didn't look muddy. I didn't think it really kind of looked out of place at all. I think it worked, and yeah, it's the best transfer in this trilogy set, in my opinion. Probably because it came out in 2001, and maybe technology was a bit higher up when this came out. I don't really know about restorations and 4K transfers that much. I'm just going by what my eyes see, and you know, watching these back to back, this was definitely the best transfer for me in this set, and I just think it's overall a really great set. HDR is important. I think HDR made these transfers for me. I don't think the 4K resolution bump does much over the Blu-rays personally, but I just think the HDR makes 4K, and it does for these films. Just a quick review of these. I didn't want to go too much into detail because I'm not really that knowledgeable about transfers, but I just wanted to say, going by my eyes, these are good. They're good transfers. Not the greatest. They won't blow your mind by any means. Especially, it didn't blow my mind. But I mean, they are probably the best these films will ever look. I would say it's a must buy it. Especially if you can find it on sale. I paid full price for this. I paid £35, which I wasn't too bothered about. But I know people have got it for even cheaper before. But if you can find this for about 20 quid, I'd say it's definitely worth a buy. Transfers are really good. I love the artwork on this set as well. Fantastic artwork. I love the minimalistic artworks on the cases as well. So yeah, it's really cool. As always, if you want to see more of these 4K reviews, it's my first time really getting into these 4K reviews and just seeing how I do and how people find the information I give. But like I said, from my eye, these are great. As always, guys, if you like what you see here, you want to see more, maybe think about subscribing. It really means a lot to me. As always, hit the like button for the YouTube algorithm, is the best way to get my videos out to the YouTube world. Thanks to everyone that has shared, liked, comment and subscribed to my channel. It means the world to me. You have no idea. Thank you so much. If you want to see more 4K reviews on this channel, hit the like button, drop a comment to let me know you do want to see that, and I will see you in the next video, guys. As always, I have been Jason, and I have got some more 4K reviews coming to you very soon. See you later.